Hello, everybody, and welcome to the FloTrack podcast presented by Wonderful Pistachios. I am Liv Ekpone, joined with Ashley Tishins and Corey Mall. We are kicking off day 3 in the paddock in our favorite spot, the Steve Prefontaine corner. We're here every day filming at 11 a.m. I'm super stoked because I've gotten some texts, like people are like, we're coming to the pad. We have some fans out behind us here. So it's just been so awesome to hear. You guys are loving this place. This is one of my favorite spots, as we all know. Been raving about it. Yeah, love the pad.
The food is amazing here.
The breakfast.
The breakfast. This is our first time having breakfast.
It was a bomb omelet yesterday. It was so good.
So good. And we were also here last night. So again, come see us at 11 a.m. You can check us out, listen live to our show. But as I mentioned, day 3 of the U.S. Olympic trials, and I feel like each day is just getting better and better. And I know the very first day we saw things like Quincy Wilson breaking the U18 record, national high school record. Yesterday, Sha'Carri Richardson stealing the show. Today, I feel like we're going to see some of the similar vibes. So let's talk about vibes. How are we feeling about trials so far as we're still in this first half of the trials?
Yeah, I feel like yesterday, and I noticed this too because I was out in the photographer's area in the stadium every day. From day 1 to day 2, I did see a shift. I feel like there was more energy, there was a bigger crowd, right? Like I think there was, more finals, more anticipation, more pressure that comes with that as well, and more fun. I think, especially yesterday, since Sha'Carri's running, and she's kind of I would say the face of American women's track and field right now, and I think everyone was really excited to see that moment and then see Noah Lyles start off, and so I think as these days go on, we're going to just see that anticipation build and kind of that Olympic trials moment grow.
Yeah. And I know we got an email from Tracktown USA, and they said day 1 there was about 11,200 tickets actually scanned coming into the stadium. Yesterday, 11,800 roughly. Okay. So like you said, you notice more people are starting to come in, and as we start seeing more finals happen, I can see the numbers going up. But Corey, how are you feeling about the vibes yesterday?
Yeah, it was a settling in period for everyone. I think 1 final on the first day, 2 yesterday, as you said, 5 coming today, 6 on Monday. So the stage is getting grander each day, and the environment around that will start to build as the week goes on. Obviously, we have a little bit of a Tuesday, Wednesday off period, but then I think at this point, though, it's just we're settling in to the pace of the trials, and it's fun so far.
Yeah, so far everything has been going great. So as I mentioned, Sha'Carri Richardson stole the show, and rightfully so, setting a world-leading time in the 100 meters with a 10.71, while her teammates Melissa Jefferson coming in second with that 10.80, and then TT Terry grabbing that 3rd spot with a 10.89 to qualify for the Olympic Games. I just remember the race, Sha'Carri, I think, has just been struggling a little bit with her start throughout the course of the trials, but that top end speed, as you mentioned, Ashley, no one has been able to touch her. But the moment they all looked up at the scoreboard, Melissa just ran over to TT, embraced Sha'Carri. How important does that help, I think, with Team USA, just knowing you have 3 ladies in the same training group being the spotlight going into that 100 meters and representing Team USA at the Paris Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's almost like what's the word? They're almost like a superhero group, the Avengers, you go to
a superhero group.
Yeah, think about it. Imagine, now they get to, they all qualify. You get to go back, to Florida with your group, with your coach Dennis Mitchell there, and just train together and prepare together. I think they talked about it a little bit in the post-meet press conference. They were just saying that every day they're pushing each other. Sometimes, they may be talking back and forth a little bit. Not every conversation's all, positive and stuff, but they're just giving each other feedback every day, and they're pushing each other to work harder. And I think having that is actually something that could be a key factor for them going into the Olympics, because not everyone's going to have that. You're not going to be able to necessarily train with every person that you're going to be running with at Team USA, that, for the Olympics and stuff.
You look at the entrants across the trials. Majority of them are in groups, across groups, different brands. many of them have opportunities within their groups to qualify, but very rarely are we going to see 3 teammates getting an all one discipline or one distance.
Yeah.
So that was very rare, I think, to see Star Athletics getting 3 across, and it's got to be a credit to Dennis Mitchell and what they're doing out there in Central Florida. I think they even practice on that Montford Academy track every now and again. But yeah, I just think, the rarity of that was really kind of cool to see yesterday.
Who picked TT Terry in the final? Was it you?
I don't think so. I had Tamari Davis. But
Oh, you had Tamari Davis. Okay. Or was it you? Did you have TT
I think
Terry?
I picked Leah Hobbs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Leah Hobbs. I was cheering for her. But the fact that we just saw those 3 ladies just come together, I think it's just so powerful, like you mentioned. Just like an Avenger group.
And I think I think the one moment I took away from everything that happened afterwards, that I think during the press conference, Sha'Carri was asked, do you think you 3 ladies put the world on notice today? And her quote was, "We didn't put the world on notice today. The world already knew who we were." And I think that probably sums up who they are as a group. And, obviously Sha'Carri's, that figure, right? And again, you mentioned it too, she may not have had the best start, but you can't stop. No one in the world's stopping her in her top end speed. No one in the world right now.
I was literally just about to say, I think we were talking about that in the mix zone yesterday. I was like, I don't think anybody in the world right now can take down Sha'Carri Richardson. We were talking about Elaine Thompson-Herah. I don't think she's ready. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, I don't think can match the top end speed right now. Who was the other name? Sharika Jackson. I think Sha'Carri, if she can put it all together, solid. And I honestly just want to see her run through the finish line. I feel like every round we've seen her compete, she's just been, needs to work on that block start, has that top end speed, and then she celebrates.
Yeah.
By chilling down, she does the hands down, she's, pumping her arms. I just want to see her run all the way through the line. Because I think we can see the fact that she went 10:71. I definitely think she can go faster than that.
You talked about how fast the time was, despite the start. World record's 10:49. It's stood since 1988 by FloJo. I think if she were to figure out the star, and what better place to do it at the Olympics, we could see a world record go down.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a credit to her how technically sound she is right now, the power that she exudes out there on the track, and nobody can beat her. She just feels that confidence. One of the other things I think with Sha'Carri too is that this isn't a redemption story.
Right.
I think she's not going to say that it is, and it shouldn't be. But she did not get to the Olympics in 2021, even though she qualified. And I think for this year, she's followed through on a lot of things that she said she's going to do. And I think, this was another reminder that a lot has changed about her career and who she is. And I think this is sort of a moment for her to just follow through on all those expectations. She's a lot more polished, that I saw in the mix zone than she's ever been. And I think that's also a really interesting thing to see.
Yeah. What's her quote? "I'm not back, I'm better."
I'm better. Love that. I think for me also, when I think of Sha'Carri, the 100 is not behind her. You punch your ticket, you're going to the Olympics. Now, we need to shift gears and start talking about that 200. And I think it's going to be a little bit more challenging, just based off of what we've seen her do.
Right.
Internationally, but without a doubt, when you see a 10:71, I know she can put together a fast 200 times. So now we just switch gears. You punched your ticket. Now it's focused on that 200. So I'm looking and cheering for her to just continue progressing. All right. Men's 1500, and we trimmed it down to 12. And I think, as we have been discussing, the biggest thing here is we have 5 NCAA runners who have advanced to this final. We're also going to include Craig Ingalls in there, who is 30. So how are we feeling about the men's 1500 right now?
It was an entertaining semifinals.
Yes.
It was a tale of 2 semifinals, though, right? I think the first one, it was kind of similar to in the first round where we saw so many people involved at the end and so much just people passing each other over the final 200. It was kind of a mad dash to the finish there. But then we saw in semifinal number 2, Jordan Neguse ties a meet record. Who does that in a semifinal?
Yes.
3:34.09 ties the meet record that Matt Centrowitz set back in 2016. So, he looked smooth in that as well, and Hobbs Kessler was right off of his shoulder as well.
Yeah.
But I love that you mentioned, 5 NCAA runners. I think my favorite moment actually from everything that happened yesterday was seeing Liam Murphy of Villanova and Ethan Strand of UNC. Yes. They weren't even really up in that top mix to qualify with 200 to go, but they just had that other kick and they moved up. Liam Murphy finished second in the heat, and then Ethan Strand finished third. And you can see as they cross the finish, like literally they're still in stride, but they realize they qualified for the final. They like look at each other, and then all of a sudden they're like jumping up on each other, and they're like, it was just a moment of pure joy. And I think it puts into perspective that like, you know, for a lot of these athletes, like this is a moment you dream about, you know, like even just making a final, you know, for a lot of these guys, maybe they never even, I mean, some of these, like, I mean, Liam Murphy, Ethan Strand, they haven't won NCAA titles or anything yet. They're here making an Olympic trials final. And like, again, this is something that like, for these guys, it's a huge moment, and you know you don't want to take it for granted.
And we know that the college kids have a long season, right? This is on the back end of a lot of racing, and sometimes that puts them at a disadvantage, but sometimes it obviously gives them a good, I think, opportunity too. And you know, this is a good sort of evidence of that 5 got through. I mean, 6 men were under 3:35 yesterday. Still went fast, got a little bit faster.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, how the men were going to approach the 1500, whether it was going to be faster or slower, and they're like, no, we're going to keep trucking.
This is a readiness. You saw the guys who were ready for that yesterday, and that's what allowed them to get the final. But looking at the 1500 meters, you know, at the end of the day, I think Monday is the final, right?
I think so.
I think Naguse, Cole Hocker, to me, are the 2 favorites. I think you got Hobbs. I think you got Coupertier, probably strong chances to make the team. But I also think that 3rd spot can unlock maybe with a college kid. Because that team, you know, beyond Naguse and Hocker, I think it's kind of a little bit open. I think there is an opportunity to sneak in there, and these guys are sensing it. Elliot Cook is a really good name to kind of call out here because, you know, he's from Oregon. I think he feels sort of the atmosphere, and he understands this place better than most.
Absolutely.
So I think Cook would be, in my eyes, maybe a good candidate to possibly steal one.
Not Joe Wascom?
I mean, obviously,
NCAA?
obviously, I'm just picking Cook at this point, but take any one of the 5 NCAA runners, and they could probably slot there.
But I agree. Like, I think what we've seen over the semis is like, again, so many guys running. I think it's going to be a fast final based on what we've seen in the semis in the first round. But like, there's so many guys in the mix, like there at the end, that like anyone could sneak in, I think, and grab that spot, especially an NCAA guy that like you're fighting, like what do you have to lose, you know?
Yeah. And the 5th NCAA athlete that's in this mix is Nathan Green. So we have Nathan Green, Elliot Cook, Liam Murphy, Ethan Strand, sorry, and Joe Wascom, who are your NCAA finishers going to be in this final. So again, I agree with Ashley. It's going to be fast. I see Yard Naguse doing Naguse things. I think Hobbs Kessler, I'm cheering for him and rooting for him. Did he get spiked up at one moment?
Prefontaine, he dropped out of his race because he got clipped or something.
Clipped or something? Okay, because when I saw him come through the content lounge, like...
Oh, today? Or yesterday?
Yesterday. Like, he looked like he got spiked, but he was like, fine. He was like, yeah, what's up? How's it going? Ready to go. I was like, sweet. So I think Hobbs Kessler could be another one that could sneak into that final as well. All right, moving on, because, my computer, like, got stuck. All right. Okay, 400 meters. I was like, why isn't my computer scrolling? Okay, women's 400 meters. Biggest, I think, thing to take away here is we have a lot of heavy hitters. Ashley and I, we were up pretty late last night. We were just chatting We were like, who are these? Yeah. It was really funny. The fact that we knew 8 of them. We knew 7 or 8. We missed one. We were like, man, this is going to be a fast final. So you got Kaylin Brown, the freshman from Arkansas. Kendall Ellis, in my opinion, looked amazing during the semifinal rounds. They both go sub 50. Then you have athletes like Shamir Little, who we thought wasn't running the semifinals, but homegirl was in it and qualified. You had Lena Irby-Jackson, Alexis Holmes, Quinera Hayes, Jamesia Ford is also in this mix.
And Isabella Whitaker.
So many names. So what are our thoughts going into the finals for this 400?
Are you ready to agree with my previous notion that experience counts more so than times entering, trials?
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Someone got a small queue.
You look at that list. It's majority of them are veteran women who've been in this position before.
Leah Butler.
Yeah.
Forgot about Leah Butler. Yeah.
So I think experience plays a huge advantage, and in the final, that's what I would lean on as well. I mean, Kendall was a great story because it's her first PR since 2018, right? 49. What was it? 49.6, 49.81. And I think I saw a tweet that she got locked in the bathroom.
Yeah,
or
I saw that
something.
too. Yeah, we were talking about it. She tweeted that like she got locked in the bathroom before the race, and she said, "Shout out to the sir that like helped like heard me and like banging, I guess probably on the door."
What a
and got me out."
story.
Like,
What a story.
How did I get locked in the
What a
bathroom?
story.
I would have been mentally like.
I'm not sure. What a story. But Kendall Ellis, I think, is also kind of putting herself in the mix now. I think she was third back in 2018. In a championship situation, and now, for her, I think she's been in a great group. We talked about groups earlier.
Yes.
She's in LA.
Yeah.
She works under a great group, and she talked about her 400 race model yesterday. How she's kind of really honed in on what she needs to do and attack the race the right way.
Yeah.
That's what put her in a position to run fast. But when I look at the final, I'm still sticking with my woman from the start, Alexis Holmes, because I think the time will come. I think the win will come with the stakes at the highest.
Okay. Ashley, who are you picking for this top 3?
I was really impressed by Kendall Ellis. Like, I think that's something that you can ride off of that momentum. Hey, lifetime PR, like in a semifinal.
Yeah.
You can then kind of, I think, just keep that momentum going. I like your Alexis Holmes pick. Even though she took, I think, second to Caitlin Brown in her semifinal, Alexis Holmes has made world teams before. She's been on mixed relays. She's won medals. Like, she knows what it's going to take when it comes down to a final, and I think this is her time to shine, really, and then, make that first Olympic team. And then, I mean, honestly, if Caitlin Brown can continue what she's been doing.
She should, and I think she should.
Because she's been, of all the Arkansas girls, like, I feel like over the past, like, month or so, she has been just consistent, like, second at NCAAs and just like consistently running 49s, then here, running really well in the first round, running really well in the second round. Like, again, like a 19-year-old making the team, I could see it happening. I really can.
See, going into trials, I have to pull it up, but I know I had Caitlin Brown, I had Rosie F. Young, I think I had Alexis Holmes in there. I'm still sticking with my girl, Caitlin Brown. Kendall Ellis, like I mentioned, surprised me. I'm putting her now into my top 3. I've been saying Aaliyah Butler. Like, despite what happened at NCAAs, I think Aaliyah has a chance to sneak in there. But I'm also not going to really count out Alexis Holmes just from her experience. But then also Lena Irby-Jackson is standing out to me on paper too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that third spot is questionable. But for me, locked in right now, I would go Caitlin Brown and Kendall Ellis. They can flip whatever way. For me, that third spot I think is open. So. Women's 400 is going to be spicy as well. And another athlete that stole the show, Noah Lyles. Our guy. We love Noah Lyles. Ran 992, cruised in that semifinals. Christian Coleman, Kenny B, Courtney Lindsay, Fred Curley also in the mix. We're in an Oakley kit too. That was the biggest question. I was like, all right, Fred's on the track. Where's the camera guy? Zoom in. I got to see what he's wearing. Oakley kit, Nike shoes, and of course our guy Christian Miller. Didn't have the best race, but all it is surviving and advancing. That's just the thing. You had a chance to talk with Christian Miller. What were some of the big takeaways he had from his race?
Big, quick lessons in a final, right? I think, he gave himself another opportunity to race. That's the biggest thing. I don't think he necessarily said he was nervous, but I mean, you can read between the lines a little bit. He's a high schooler, right? And he's right in front of that crowd, and not necessarily kind of ready to get out off of the gun there. I mean, but things should change in a heartbeat in another day, and I think this is his opportunity to prove again that he's a sub-10 guy. But I think the larger story was like the men, that should be, in this conversation, the Colemans, the Lyles, the Curleys. I'm really looking at them to potentially sort of make their way to the final today.
Yeah.
Lyles, for me, looked like he was just smooth ride right over 100 meters.
Like a jog in the park. I mean, he shut it down like so early too, and was just kind of jogging through the line.
And I think in the mixed zone, it's interesting how people move through it, pass through it.
Oh, it's funny.
Lyles stopped, gave huge, just long interviews.
Yeah.
Curley made his way through.
Yeah.
Coleman stopped for a second, but then he passed through. Bednarik stopped. I mean, it's like, how are these people feeling about where they're at right now at the trials? And some of them just want to focus.
Yeah.
Lyles can deal with it and then still race.
Right. And I think that's really interesting. Just the psychological part about it is every athlete and every person is different. So like you mentioned, like even Noah Lyles like came into the content lounge, was able to like give us some great content and then dip out. Kenny B doing his thing. I'm not surprised by Fred. Fred literally, he literally ran off the track, I think they had like their like timing, something with their bibs, showed his spikes, literally went through. Like, no one talked to me, I'm down to business, But I think what's also crucial here is the semifinals is gonna be cutthroat, and it's just gonna be just like the women's race. We're going to go from 27 to 9. So it's like we gotta ramp up the energy a little bit, and also the final is gonna be later tonight, so.
Well,
What are our picks?
well, what about Snoop?
Snoop Dogg!
Snoop yesterday.
I'm so upset you haven't found him in the crowd.
Oh, wait, I'll find him. Don't worry.
You'll find
I'll
him?
snap a little picture.
I wonder who else is going to show up. Like, I wonder if other celebs are
Well,
gonna-
apparently, Snoop Dogg, I think he's here because he's going to be part of that, almost doing like a Manning cast sort of thing with NBC during the Olympics. So I'm sure they want him out here interacting. But apparently, he's going to do an entrance walk-in to the track with Noah Lyles, I think, and so.
You know what would be wild if Cardi B showed up? Because I know Cardi B and Sha'Carri Richardson have been doing like fun stuff on social. If Cardi B was here, I might have a moment. I might have a moment. I might have a moment. Okay, picks. Wait, what are we doing picks for? The 100 final? Top 3?
Yeah, why not?
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, getting to the final. Who's your unquestioned 100-meter top dog right now? Is it Lyles? I mean, I don't think so.
No one's taking him down.
Lyles.
And we asked that question in the mix zone. Do you study your competition? Are you worried about them at all? And what he said is he does look at what other guys are doing,
is?
but yes,
Interesting.
he is, but he doesn't put so much stock in that it takes away from his own preparation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of balancing, but he does see
educated
what
on what's
everybody
happening.
is doing.
Yeah.
He just has in his own world as well.
Oh, he's in his whole own world out. Yeah. I think for me, it's got to be Lyles. Coleman, because his start is still out of this world and no one can beat him out of the blocks.
Third pick.
I kind of want to go.
I'm still Fred, Team Fred for me.
I kind of want to go Kenny B, I think, personally.
I hear Brian chuckling. Brian and I are going to have so much
I'm going
conversation
to be
after
Team
this.
Fred until proved otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, it's hard because I had our guy Christian
I
Miller
know,
third, and I'm like rooting for him, and it's a new day.
It is tough.
is
Going back to
tough.
that conversation, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I watched him as he was getting into the blocks and they were announcing him, and like, you could just read his face and you could just tell he was trying to take it all in. I think, right? Like but in fairness, like maybe he just needed that one round to get it in and feel more comfortable. Like. Hey, like you get used to what that crowd's gonna feel like, what that that entrance is gonna feel like, what that pressure is gonna be like, and maybe that's all he needed to then go forward.
I'm still sticking with it right now. C-Mill.
C-Mill?
With my guy C-Mill until.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I am rooting for him.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
rooting
say
for
that.
him.
I am rooting for him, but it is a very tough situation.
It really is.
I want him to succeed. And I think he's got to find it.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell him how to think, what to do. Like, he's got to find that in himself to get it done.
Okay, my third spot outside of C-Mill. Can I do a two-part?
Sure.
A and B. Okay, A, like Christian Miller cheering for him, but I think Ronnie Baker can also potentially sneak in here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the heat sheets. Again, it was such a blur. It happens literally so fast, no pun intended. But
So we're all Noah Lyles, Coleman, 1, 2, and
We're all
then
different on the
on the
third.
three. Okay.
Okay, so Fred, who'd you say?
Kenny B.
Kenny B. Okay.
And Baker.
Kung Fu Kenny.
Kung Fu, yes. All right, and then Ronnie Baker / Christian. However, semis goes. All right, another star of the show. The men's 400-meter semis will kick off. We're going to see Quincy Hall in Heat 1, our guy Quincy Wilson in Heat 2, and the legend Michael Norman in 3. How is this going to shake up? Because top 2 in each heat, plus the next 3 fastest times, similar to what we saw with the women. So the times are going to start dropping a little bit quicker. How do you think Quincy Wilson's going to handle this? I know Ashley and I were talking. We were
chatting on the
literally
run.
chatting all last night about this.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
also
And
this morning. This morning on our run. And I was surprised, and I know Brian and Joe are sitting right in front of us, but like we were talking about this, like I was surprised to see the 44.66 drop when it did.
Right.
Ashley's like, I think we can see him go. Sorry, I'm sharing our conversation from the run this morning. So we're like 44.66, he did it. Ashley thinks he can continuously get faster. And I'm thinking in my back of my head, I'm like, Ashley might be crazy, but at the same time, at Penn, within how many hours, he did it twice in one day. So I can see him still sticking in that 44 spot. Like, what would happen if we see him break the national record like 3 times?
It's Quincy, so I don't think that so much will be surprising. I don't think he needs to get faster to qualify for the finals.
No, yeah.
I think all he has to do is make sure he's in the top 3 and you're running, close to 45 flat or faster. And I think that will be good enough, I think, to get you in the final.
Yeah.
I think he'll run 45 point, but to me, he doesn't need to run faster, right? I think you just have to read the field, right? And
you have to
make
make sure
sure
you're looking at what position you're in and you're kind of observing. He's in lane 6, so that's a good lane draw.
Great lane
and he's going to have Vernon Norwood out to his outside and then Bryce Deadman on his inside. So, I think in that way, this is his moment now where he's got to almost act like a pro. You know what I mean? This is when you take some of that coaching that Jolie has told you about observing when you're in a 400 and seeing where you're at, when you need to put on the gas if you need to, whether, hey, I can actually back off and still qualify. This is when all of that preparation is going to really come into play, I think.
He's got another, I think, advantage that everyone won't have, and it is the crowd. The crowd. Even if he's not feeling it, even if he's not at 100% recovery-wise, he's going to get that extra boost from the crowd because they want to see him in the final.
Quincy. Yeah. You want King Quincy.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I did want to mention 4 men went under 45 in the prelims, but that didn't include Johnny Blockberger, Johnson Lincoln, Justin Robinson, Norman himself, and things are going to change in the semifinal.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Sure.
That's the only worry I think you have to be aware of is basically everyone else is moving a little bit more precise today.
And they had a day rest too. So they did this the very first day. We're entering day 3, so they rested yesterday, did their shakeout. I think I saw on social media Quincy was at the track yesterday, probably doing some strides, making everything good. So he's going to hit the track later tonight, and then finals are Monday, right? Mm-hmm. Finals are Monday. Okay, so just to kind of give you a recap of who to kind of look out for in these different heats. Heat 1, you're going to have Chris Bailey. I know you're a fan of him. Quincy Hall, Justin Robinson is going to be in that first heat along with Matthew Bowling, so that one's great. Heat 2, along with Quincy Wilson, you're going to have Vernon Norwood, Justin Lincoln, Bryce Deadman, as Ashley mentioned, Elijah Godwin too. Heat 3, Michael Norman and Johnny Blockberger, as you mentioned. Heat 3 is a little, I don't want to say it's a little lighter, but compared to the other heats, it's light. So
I will be looking at Norman, I think, because he did mention that he had a small issue that he's been working through. He says he's 100% on the 400, but I am kind of, in the back of my mind, I'm watching him to see how he responds.
So this is going to be a great semifinal. So just so you know what to kind of expect for later today, finals in the women's hammer, the men's pole vault, the men's javelin, men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, and also the 100. That's the last event. But also, as we mentioned, they have semifinals and the finals today in that 100 meters. Women's 800 semifinals, spicy. Men's 400 meters as well. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. Again, come visit us here at the pad. They have been treating us like royalty. I feel like I'm a queen here at the paddock. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow at 11 a.m.